Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. First things first, as always, if you need your song mixed or mastered, head over to rlrecordings.com. Of course, we have the mixing, the vocal templates, and the recording templates. Well, vocal chains, really. But in this video, we're going to go over a Lil Baby and Young Thug recording template for their song Never Hating. You can find the link to the template down in the description. You will not be getting any stems or any vocals from the session. You're just getting the template. That is all. And well, you can see it's quite a simple session really. There isn't much about it, as it's a recording template. It doesn't need to be complicated. So there's always a burp in one of these videos. First things first, you got your beat track, literally labeled beat, and it has auto key on it in case the producer for some reason hasn't put the BPM, the key, sorry, in the title of the beat, which you should always put the title, not the title, the key and the BPM in your beats, and if preferably send them as a WAV file. But you know, size and everything, so MP3s, that's fine. Next we have the record track, literally labeled and red, of course. If you have anything other than red as your record track, what is wrong with you? And we just have an EQ on here which isn't actually doing anything. It's even got a preset called From Lil Baby Mix Sesh, and they're not even on, or are they? No, they're not on. I have no idea if they're actually doing anything. They seem very blurred out, which indicates to me that they're off. But okay, that's a little weird. And I assume all of these are going to be the exact same. Oh, no, that's on. That's just really weird. That is really, really weird. Anyway, beat goes here, recording takes place here, and of course they are later, I didn't mean to do that, then dragged down to the respective tracks on these three tracks. And here are the ad-libs labeled, and it's got a, this one. It's a throw, this track. It's put onto these two tracks. Here is a throw with a quarter note delay and an EQ that's not even turned on. Or is turned on, I don't know. Anywho, then it's the ad-libs. We got an NLS channel here, which there's like these NLS plugins like the Spike Mic Nevo, or this one particularly, is supposed to emulate a board, like the big old consoles, and that's why you have all of, like, if you go here, Spike 1, Spike 2, Spike 3, like this, I don't know what Spike is. I don't know what board it's supposed to emulate. This is a mic board. I don't know what it's supposed to. The Nevo is obviously a Neve board, but I don't know what mic board it is trying to emulate. And the point of having 1, 2, 3, 4 is because each channel on an actual analog console are all slightly different than one another. The saturation is all different, which is why there's 1, 2, 3. They're supposed to give you different type of saturation on your vocals, and that's why there's 1, 2. Yeah. I think you got it. And that's why this is here. It's got a tiny bit of drive, and the VCA group is 1. So, okay. I don't use these plugins. I don't really know all their functions. And then you got Vocal Rider, which is interesting, because it seems to be only for the when it gets really loud, and only turns it only really loud. It's between 6 and plus 6 dB, and there's where the level will hit, and then this will start working, and this is on fast, and it's 100% 12 on vocal. Okay, I don't know why you would use a Vocal Rider, but I know why you would use this, an auto panner. This is a stock Pro Tools plugin. I believe you can only put it on mono insert. So if I just go onto this mono one and type pan, auto pan, there you go. Has to be on a mono insert to turn it to stereo, and it's linked to tempo, of course, because you want your ad-libs going right to left on time. That's a bit weird. They fiddle with this, and they've got they have a Greg Wells mix vocal centric with the intensity turned up. This is what I think it does. It does something to the high end and boosts the high end or the mid range a little bit, which is quite good for, I suppose, for ad libs, because it, well, makes them pop out. And we're going to skip the vocal chain for now. We're going to, here's the ad libs again, because apparently there's two. And this one is lead comp goes into something else. All right. Okay. It goes into here. This is the lead comp. Oh, this is the ad lib bus. All right. And this is the verse bus here. I haven't seen this template up to here, so it's news to me as well as you probably. This is the verse, and then it gets dragged down here if it's the hook. And are these active? So that's active, that's not. This is clearly some harshness, and the microphone might be a bit bright, because they might use a Sony C800G, which is a very bright mic. So then it goes into this, and then they all take into the mix bus, which I might as well go over. This is a very weird mix bus. I would never use fresh air on a mix bus. I would only use it on individual tracks. I would never use it overall. So that's interesting. And then we got an Aphex Exciter. It's just and apparently this is a very commonly used preset because I have it already. So clearly I've stolen it from somebody else who stole it from here. So that's nice to know. And you got Shadow Hills. It's the UAD one. Luckily, I don't have it because the trial's expired. It's not going to work if I turn it on or anything. Because I got on Apollo, and that's the only reason I'm able to load it. It won't work. So unless you have bought it for like $300, because they're expensive as hell, it won't. It will work. I have a plugin alliance one, and it still doesn't work because you have to have the actual UAD one, and you got a limiter, which. Limiters are limiters. A limiter is absolutely fine. These three, I understand being here, but this, I don't. They're trying to brighten it up. Wouldn't you do that in the vocal? Anyway, this goes here. This is the mix box, and this is the print. So this is technically the master, or this is technically the master, but there's nothing there. And then they will print it here, which is interesting. But we might as well cover... all effects, that's nice. All nice in a file, in a folder, so they're not taking up too much space. Let's just go over them. Saturation, lo-fi. Yep, that makes sense. You got a flanger. This is a Waves plugin. Yep, doing a flanger. And you got C6, which is actually a compressor. So there was some sort of multi-band or something, multi-band parallel, which I've never heard of, but I suppose they called it C6 either by accident or on purpose, and I've just put some parallel compression on it. That's fine. You got Verb, you got Deverb stock Pro Tools with the stock EQ. These are good plugins for stock, by the way. If you get Pro Tools, you don't need all the fancy third-party plugins. You got some good ones here. Deverb, that looks to me like it's the default setting, and there's just EQ taking off some lows, taking off some highs, the usual. You got Verb 2, which is an R Verb Waves plugin with an S1 imager, spreading it out more, also a Waves plugin. And you got REQ 6, which is also a Waves plugin. I don't know why you didn't just copy that EQ. Guess they were going for something different. Okay, and then you go on R-Verb again for a plate, which is actually on the church and cathedral presets, okay? And it has got some EQ done already on it. I wonder if... No, I guess the only reason they did one is because this plugin has an EQ in it. Okay. The plate is a church, okay? Doubler, you got Doubler 4. And apparently... it's been stolen before. Okay, sorry, Jerry, putting you on blast. I think that might have been my fault calling you Jerry. This is definitely my preset. I don't know who I took it from. So clearly it's commonly used as well in other sessions. And it's only doing the highs. It's only adding highs. Okay. And you got a quarter note delay. H delay, also a waves plugin. Double as a waves plugin. Yep, it's a quarter note delay on ping pong. And you got the Manny reverb, which is actually a pretty good reverb on a medium in space. It's only got 50% of the mix, and there's a built-in compressor to it. So, and it's not doing any. It's only doing a slight bit of distortion, slight bit of phase, and this is the mix knob, and it's not 100%. Okay. And then, okay, here you go. There's the EQ from before, and another S1 imager to spread that out. Half note delay, which seems to be a preset. Yeah, and that's really spread out. Okay. That's all of them are doing. Okay. Let's go over the vocal chain, as that's probably the most, well, why we're all here at the end of the day. It's called a little baby aux. So the first things first is an EQ. This. All right. Let me just take a drink. Hang on. God, this can is... I dropped my Coke can, and now it's all broken. Anywho. This is a very interesting EQ. Only going up to 50 hertz and then taking 60 hertz out. Not, I've never seen that before. Normally the default is about 80-ish. That's interesting. And then, of course, you got some 450 and then a little bit of harshness at 7K being taken out. And then doing a 4 dB... No, there would be a 4 dB boost, but it's turned off. So... Oh, dear. I probably thought it was too bright, so they took it off. Next, we got stock Pro Tools, and then we got the API 50, a Waves plugin doing some compression. When I load in some vocals, then we'll see how much it's actually doing. And then you got an RComp Waves plugin as well. Pretty medium run-of-the-mill type stuff. It's actually quite simple of the RComp. Oh my god. I don't understand this whatsoever. To me, like, you can see all the frequencies here that they've taken out are all around here. And why couldn't these three been solved with a high pass or low cut at 80? To me, that would have fixed it quite easily, but I guess we will see how it sounds. There's got to be a reason somebody did this, because this looks really wrong, because you haven't taken away all the low end. It's technically still there. You've just lowered it. It's not gone. But maybe that's the point. Who knows? Just taking out a bit of harshness here. And then we're doing some boosting. Hell yes. That's fine. That's really weird. Q10's a Waves plugin, by the way. S1 Imager. This is just so I assume it stays mono in the middle. S1 Imager. It's S1 Imager's Waves plugin, and it does. The width knob is it affects the sides. It doesn't affect the main lead vocal. It affects the sides, not the mono signal. And you got Oxide. This is a UAD plugin. It's a saturator, and this looks like it's on the default preset. But if it's good, it's good. You know, it worked. A gate, okay, just getting some background noise and a de-esser. Simples in terms of that, and you got all of the plugins here, or the auxes, except for the C6, which is actually parallel compression, because apparently I didn't need it. It's also boosted up 6 dBs, which... Oh, okay. Is this... No, then... Okay. Did they just record it a bit low and they had to turn it up in the end? I don't know. This hook, I assume it's going to be the exact same thing. Yeah. Yeah, exact same thing for the hook. And for the Adlibs Plus... Okay. You got Oxide first, some saturation, and it's doing a little bit more because it's been leveled. You got the there we go, a little bit more of a sensible-ish EQ in my opinion, but it's mixing. Nothing's 100% correct, you know, nothing's completely correct. And yeah, here's the 4 dB boost. All these frequencies are taken out, and then we got a high pass all the way to 134.5. And then we've got API, RComp, that same thing, taking out more harshness and not as much boosting because it's an ad-lib. S1, de-esser, some excitement, actually. That's nice. Make them stand out because they're ad-lib, so you kind of got to add some saturation so they pop out a little bit more and not get lost inside of the track. And you got a gate, which is fine. And this, resonance aux. This is typically used on guitars, or was made for guitars. That's interesting. I suppose it's got something on it's on one of the fastest attacks it's got. This is a compressor, and all you got to do is turn this down, and it starts compressing. And if you want to do that, you can drag these two together so they're somewhat level matched, but they're not all level matched. If you drag these down both at 0, it's actually a pretty good compressor. And hook libs. Okay. I have no idea what these are at all. Libs normally stand for ad-libs, so there's some ad-libs put on here with only an echo boy. This also has an echo boy and a bit of reverb. And this has got nothing, so maybe that's for custom effects. I don't know, this recording template is really strange to me. Okay, let me go grab a vocal and we'll see how it sounds. Okay, we're back. We got the vocal. And here it's on its own. Up to
that perfect timing. If you say you will, I'll be the alignment. Love is just another high school assignment. Yeah, yeah. When I said let's be together, she say yeah. I say we better together. I'm always.
There you go. I found how to turn it back on. There's a little red thing. It's just disabled. Anyway, that's how it sounds raw. This is clearly just getting rid of some harshness. And definitely taking out some highs because it might have been a bit too bright, the original recording. Anyway, we just drag it down to the actual channel and we'll get to hear what it actually sounds like going into this vocal chain. And I'm really interested about how this EQ sounds here. So let's go.
It all still shining. Cup the rolly wrist, call it perfect timing. If you say you will, I'll be the alignment. Love is just another high school assignment. Yeah, yeah. When I said let's be together, she say yeah. I say we better together as a pair. I'ma always be there. Never go back to my old ways, okay? Don't go back to the old days, okay? I'm always messed up on my own pain, okay? But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so little. Never feel a high or low, I'm always in the middle. Yeah, my life is still a confusing riddle, but every single day I'm solving a little.
Okay, the aux side is kind of adding a little bit mids to boost it. That's kind of nice. And this is doing like 6 dBs of compression, which is absolutely fine. It's good. How much was this doing? I forgot to check that. Oh god, not that.
But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so little.
Oh, it's just getting the peaks. That's nice. That's just nice. This is doing everything, and this is just getting a bit of the peaks. That's nice. That's nice. I judged too quickly. And this seems to work, actually. That's not what I honestly expected. I don't know if it's just simply Binga's vocal that I've gotten, because Binga's vocal is already just a tiny little bit muddy. So when I'm going back and forth, it kind of takes away too much mud and low end and boosts too much high end, makes it slightly a little bit more crisper on Binga's vocal. But I assume it wouldn't do that for Baby's vocal, which is kind of nice. So that's actually pretty cool. Okay, let's just drag it onto here. See what this is doing.
Okay, don't go back to the old days, okay? I'm always messed up on my own pain, okay? But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so little. Never feel a high or low, I'm always in.
Okay, this is just here to get a consistent vocal. That's it. At least they're all the same volume.
Days, okay? Don't go back to the old days, okay? I'm always messed up on my own.
I don't know if it's just I'm blinding myself thinking something's happening, but nothing's happening. This is kind of doing something to the mid-range-ish, I think, maybe. I don't think so. And this is, of course, going left to right.
Days, okay? Don't go back to the old days, okay? I'm always messed up on my own pain, okay? But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so.
I forgot to mention this has got a reverb delay and doubler in it, which is kind of nice. I don't really know what this plugin is doing.
Days, okay. Don't go back to the old days, okay.
This seems to be just kind of like a 3-in-1 plugin. I was kind of wrong about mix centric is the one that boosts the high end and all of that. This is a voice centric. Okay. And I assume this is also doing the same thing.
Don't go back to the old days, okay. I'm always messed up on my own pain, okay. But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so little. Never feel a high or low, I'm always in the middle. Yeah, my life is still a confusing riddle, but every single day I'm solving a little.
Yeah, doing the same thing. And I assume this.
Always, okay. Don't go back to the old days, okay. I'm always messed up on my own pain, okay. But I'm trying and I'm trying, but I'm trying so little. Never feel a high or low, I'm always in the middle. Yeah, my life is still a confusing riddle, but every single day I'm solving a little. Still shining, cup the rolly wrist, call it perfect timing. If you say you will, I'll be the alignment. Love is just another high school assignment, yeah, yeah. When I said let's be together, she say yeah. I say we better together as a pair. I'ma always be there.
This isn't really gonna. Oh shit, that's not really gonna do much because I suppose you kind of need the beat as well, which I don't have, and I suppose this is actually a pretty nice template in terms of its vocal and how it sounds and all. Remember, if you want the best possible sound for your vocal, you need to sound like the artist you're trying to copy their vocal chain with. If you want that, let's just go with Little Baby, you need to have a voice that's like Little Baby. If your voice is high in the sky, you're not going to sound like Little Baby. Okay? You need to have a vocal style that's at least similar to the artist to sound anything like them. Like, I've just shown you all the preset, all the plugins and everything, and you can get this template down in the description for you to try it out. I highly encourage people to get it, and then when they get it, fiddle around with the settings to match their vocals. Or you can come to rlrecordings.com. There's a shameless plug, but I mean it. Okay? Be patient with your vocals. You'll get there in time. And I suppose with that little sound of a note, I will see you all in the next video. I've got 2 more recording templates to go over. And I'm actually excited about both of them because I didn't think I'll get my hands on them. And I have them, which is amazing. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video, rlrecordings.com, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.